Yo, what's up, man? Today we're going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 2 of Star Wars' The Mandalorian. This episode was phenomenal, visually amazing, just like Episode 1. It starts off with the Mandalorian going around and blasting away, blowing up some Jawas, which I thought was hilarious. Now, I assume you're wondering, well, you're saying all these great things about it. What's up with the title? Well, it's disappointing because it wasn't longer. I know that some people are thinking that maybe if it was an hour, it would be too long. But that 40-minute episode for episode 1 seemed amazing because I felt empty after this episode. I felt like there wasn't enough. I felt like there needed to be more. I felt like I didn't really watch anything happen. But the episode was great. Now, before we move on to talking about more of the episode and maybe another theory behind what's going on, I wanted to talk about my previous upload about Yoda. With a little bit more research, I realized that there was another of his species in the films. Now, you may not agree with me that the films and the books are different, but they are. Not necessarily everything from the books will be put in the film or put in to perspective and accounted for in the films. So don't get upset with the directors and stuff. So, or me. But yeah, so now that I have that into factor, nothing has changed about my theory calling it the chosen one or the 1,000-year race. Yoda did live up to 900 years, but that's not what I mean by 1,000-year race. What I mean is that only one of his kind is born, every 100 years or so. Now, I know that's not true because of Yaddle. Yaddle is a female, so that, you know, might be something different going on there. I don't know. But now I still do believe that they are the chosen one race because apparently they all have a strong bond to the light side of the Force, which can be a huge factor into why Yoda lived so long. He might have been even a special case for his race, living 900 years. Maybe his race might only live 300 years or something like that. If you look at Yaddle, the female, looked definitely younger than Yoda, but yet left the council during the films, probably because they got too old. We do know that Jedi in general live longer than people, so maybe that extended life force gave Yoda a few extra years, 100 years. All right, now back to episode 2 of The Mandalorian. So, with a few fight scenes and little bit of action going on, I think that now we can see that it seems that little Yoda, don't know. I have a feeling that they're gonna name him. That the Mandalorian's gonna name him in the next episode or two. But little Yoda, uh, seems to naturally be a force healer, which is a great thing. It's something that we don't really see that often. It's something that we see a lot in the Star Wars video games, but not really in the films. So this is something very cool that they're going right into this. It really tells us that they're going to go more into the story of Yoda, his species, not necessarily the history, but maybe we can just learn more about him through this little Yoda character. I doubt that this little Yoda is going to be more powerful than actual Yoda. Um, so this is where we're going to get more into a theory. So Anakin has been registered at, I believe, 20,000 midichlorians. Correct me if I'm saying that wrong. Yeah, midichlorians. And Yoda has been said to have 4 million. 4 million. So he's the most powerful, and I doubt that they're going to make this little Yoda more powerful. Maybe as powerful, but highly doubtful. Now, one thing that, and this is the theory, that maybe that he was being held hostage not only to try to get him to maybe go to the dark side or just be on the opposite opposing force, but and revive the Empire, but maybe there's some master plan where they wanted to power him up. I know that there has been a way of doing that where you eat the heart of another Jedi and gain their midichlorians. Now, I might be wrong, but midichlorians is what helps a Jedi absorb kind of the Force, and the Force is always around you. It's always with you. So if the midichlorians are a way of helping you absorb the Force, then the more you have, then the more Force you can absorb and use. So either I doubt that they were going to have this little Yoda eat a heart of another Jedi. It's possible they did, but I think that something else is more likely. So kyber crystals, there's much mystery around the kyber crystals, which is what powers the lightsabers. Now, the kyber crystals are said to be basically pure energy, a focus of energy. So maybe if there was some way that you can take a kyber crystal and infuse it into a Jedi, it can boost the amount of force that they can absorb. So that, in other words, is increasing their power. But if you get down to the root of it, it's what is amplifying their ability, maybe even increasing their midichlorians to be able to absorb more force, therefore have more power. Now, this little Yoda, already shows off a lot of power, lifting up this little, using the Force to lift up this giant, not little, rhino creature. So that's my theory, that this little Yoda was going to be used and amplified his power somehow using a kyber crystal, or maybe even making him eat a heart. Okay, so now this episode focuses on the Mandalorian trying to get his parts back for his ship that the Jawas took. So he makes a deal with them, and he has to get this egg. It's the egg of this giant rhino monster that is several thousand pounds, to which the Mandalorian turns out cannot defeat him on his own. It is Baby Yoda who, in fact, beats him. So, by using the Force to pick him up and then, drop him, and then, the Mandalorian does finish him off. But this shows right here how strong little Yoda is already at 50 years old. Alright, that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video, and happy Mashed Up Madness.